Well, one man who is never afraid to say what he thinks. He is the Chief Whip of Reform UK. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lee Anderson MP.
You know what? Before I start, I just want to apologise for the people outside who made it very difficult for some of you to get in tonight. And I've got a three-point plan for the people outside. That's get a life, get a job, and get a bloody bath. Last September, I stood at the NEC in front of 4,000 true British patriots who came to hear us speak. And I remember at the time saying to Nigel that this time next year there would be 8,000 people turning up. But just 6 months later, we're back in Birmingham and there's 10,000 people here. Yeah. Backed up by a membership army of 220,000 people. No one can stop us, so thank you for coming here today. We really appreciate it. I've got one thing to say to you. I want my country back. Do you want your country back? Good. But what does that mean? It means... Exactly. I want a country where people can book a same-day GP appointment. They can book a dental appointment. They can feel safe on our streets. They can be confident that our borders are safe. They don't have to worry about paying for the fuel bills. They should not be scared to speak their minds. And finally, I want to live in a country where our kids can go to school and not be told they could be 72 different genders. And be told constantly they may have been born in the wrong body. This nonsense must stop. Some of these teaching unions have got a lot to answer for. We've just learned that the National Education Union is to demand that pupils are taught about the dangers of voting for Reform UK. Yeah. Shocking. These are the same people who say nothing when 6'5" drag queens with feet like barges enter our schools to read stories to 5-year-olds. I do not want conference, our schools to become freak shows. Schools should be a place of learning, and if these unions are intent on poisoning our children's minds, then mark my words, when we're in power, we will root out these Marxist agitators and expose their madness. They are a danger to our children. We know that. Conference, over the past 1,000 years, this great country of ours has led the world in science, innovation, technology, medicine, culture, democracy, and we've invented over 50% of the world's inventions. Yeah, it's true. Our beautiful country has truly been a gift to the world. But over the past 1,000 years, our history, our heritage, our culture has been erased by a useless bunch of politicians who are currently squatting in Parliament. Over the past 30 years, successive governments have systematically given large swathes of our country and our society away to people who just do not like what we stand for. These spineless, weak politicians allow people who hate us to rip down statues, cancel our historical heroes, and they continually apologise for our past. And you know what? Anyone who speaks out against this nonsense gets labelled a racist. But have no fear, Reform UK are here. We're going to rescue this country. Look at some of the politicians we've got running our country at the moment. We have a public health minister who thinks it's okay to identify as a llama. You've heard that one, haven't you? We've got Rachel from Accounts. Her CV looks like it was written by Walter Mitty. We've got the unhinged Mad Miliband, who is literally putting up energy prices whilst telling everybody that our bills are coming down. This man could not lie straight in bed. We've got a business secretary who says he was a solicitor, but he's never qualified as a solicitor. And don't start me on David Lammy. We're not going there tonight, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, guys, in my opinion, this is the most dishonest and incompetent bunch of politicians I've ever encountered in all my life. I'll tell you what, I think it's time we brought back the Jeremy Kyle show, just for one episode. We can get all these Labour MPs on the show to explain how their policies will improve our lives. Can you imagine Jeremy Kyle saying, "Do not go away, because after the break, we've got the results of the lie detector test." I tell you what, that polygraph machine would blow up and Graham would be doing his nutting. Ed Miliband, he keeps banging on about net zero. I'm fed up of hearing him. He thinks it's a good idea to stand in the middle of a field, playing his ukulele, and singing about wind energy. Well, let me tell you now, if he was caught doing that in Ashfield, he'd be carted off to the funny farm. True. Then we've got that no-brainer, Angela Rayner. She gets on my nerves. She keeps banging on about Islamophobia. She's even set up a committee that will take 6 months to come up with a legal definition of Islamophobia. Well, conference, I can save her the trouble. There's no such thing as Islamophobia. It's a made-up word by Labour politicians who are scared of losing their safe city seat. It's madness. That useless mayor in London, what's his name? Mayor Khan. He accused me of being Islamophobic, yet there's no government definition of the word. While we're on the subject, Mayor Khan is destroying and ruining people's lives and businesses in London. And I tell you what, why these local elections are so important, we must not let the rest of the country become like this. That's why we need to get out on May the 1st. Here at Reform, we're not bothered about your colour of your skin, your religion, your sexuality. We just want people to live a happy and prosperous life in a safe and tolerant country. What is wrong with that? Rachel from Accounts. I tell you what, I wish she'd got bugger off back to Accounts and all the mess she's making the country. She keeps banging on about this £22 billion black hole and that she wants to grow the economy. But I'm yet to visit one single business that is happy with their budget. Businesses are terrified of what the future holds under this Labour government. But guys, we can't stop them. We must fight back. Reform will fight back. We've already seen that the government over the past few weeks have adopted some of Reform UK's policies because they can sense the anger of the British public who are now turning to Reform UK for common sense policies. Yeah. People are fed up with waiting hours for an ambulance that will probably turn up with a rainbow painted on it. What a load of rubbish that is. People do not want to see police officers dancing the Macarena. People do not want to see NHS workers wearing badges or lanyards that make political statements. They just want the NHS to do their job. I tell you what, if you're thinking of becoming a midwife, then think again, because we've got these so-called academics that have called on the NHS to replace the term midwife with, get this, lead perinatal practitioner. Yeah, and this is to be more inclusive of transgender people. Well, I think we should replace the term academics with out-of-touch morons who need to get a proper job. Communities all over the UK need our help. They are fed up. They're fed up with living in fear, fed up of living in crime-ridden communities where the police don't turn up anymore. But it doesn't have to be like that. But it will continue to be like that if we keep electing spineless, useless politicians. Our town centres are becoming no-go areas. Imagine going into your town centre and there's a gang of unruly-looking blokes drinking beer, swearing and being abusive. You turn round, there's another group making threats of violence and intimidating women. And then you turn around again, you see more undesirables arguing with the police and punching people. Sounds a bit like a Labour Party conference. But seriously, guys, this is happening in every town across our country. And it's stopping decent people from going across their business. But we can stop this. It takes political will and it takes courage. Remember the riots from last summer? Well, they were stopped pretty quickly. People were arrested, charged and put in prison within 10 days. And guess what? The riots stopped. And I know and you know that some of these people should not have been jailed. But my point is, it's true. But my point is, when people realise there are severe consequences to their actions, then they tend to stop. Our councils and police should be working together to put an end to the antisocial behaviour. But the local politicians spend more time bickering amongst themselves rather than doing the job they're supposed to do. Our councillors will always put people before politics and return our streets and neighbourhoods to its people. So, we know that neighbourhoods are being ruined by nuisance neighbours and making people's lives a misery. The police do nothing, the council do nothing, and decent people feel helpless. Just the other week, I received a letter from a distressed resident in London, which read, I'm going to read it out to you. It says, Dear Lee, I know you're not my MP, but I watched your debate in Parliament with great interest on nuisance neighbours. My family and I are suffering from the worst type of neighbour right here in London. It all started last year when a strange-looking man moved in with his family. Since then, this man has made everyone's life a misery. And when we raise this with the authorities, they just do not listen. Even the police take his side. We just feel so desperate and alone as this man wreaks havoc in our community. We've tried speaking to him, but he just tells us more lies and that things will improve. Everyone we know has been affected by his actions. Lee, please, please try and help us put an end to our misery. His address is 10 Downing Street, London. But Conference Reform UK have a huge advantage, and that is the thousands of people we've got out there pounding the streets, delivering leaflets and knocking on doors. We have over 1,500 hard-working council candidates who have put their lives on hold to campaign for us in the May elections. These are the true British heroes, and I want to thank each and every one of you, so thank you for that. We have thousands of people who have never been involved in politics in their lives, and they've stepped forward to fight for our great country. Old people, young people, from all different backgrounds are now standing shoulder to shoulder in the battle to save our country. And history will remember these people who stepped forward in our hour of need. I started off in politics 10 years ago as a district councillor. I stepped up because I was fed up of seeing my area being let down by useless politicians. And believe me, guys, you can make a massive difference locally once you become a councillor. But it takes courage, dedication, hard work, and this will be delivered by the brilliant candidates backed up by our brilliant volunteers. Not only do our candidates have courage and dedication, but they're also going to bring a wide range of skills which will turn the failing councils around in this great country of ours. I'm just going to talk a little bit about illegal migration before I go. 150,000 undocumented young men have entered our country over the past few years, and our weak, pathetic Parliament has done nothing apart from arrange for these illegal migrants to be picked up in the sea, transported to the UK and placed in luxury hotels. They then get free healthcare, legal aid to claim asylum. You could not make this up. We have become the laughingstock of the world. And just like net zero, mass immigration is making us all poorer. We're spending £6 million a day on illegal migrants. Just imagine what Reform UK councillors could do with that money. The duty of politicians is to make us all feel safe, better off and spend our money wisely, but they are failing miserably, and it's high time that we kicked all of them out before they trash our country. Conference, this madness needs to stop. And only the People's Army can stop it by making sure we get massive gains on May the 1st. This will be the real first test Reform UK since the general election. And people out there, there's many people out there who want to see us fail, but there are millions of people out there who are desperate for us to succeed. It's true. Our councils need Reform UK councillors that love their country and community. For far too long they've been served by councillors who have no interest other than picking up a wage at the end of the month. Being a councillor is about public service, it's about fighting for your community, it's about putting people first, and it's about making sure that every pound is spent as if it's your own, and our Reform UK candidates will do this. Guys, we have about 5 or 6 weeks left now for May the 1st, and I know many of you in this room will be going out, pounding the streets, delivering leaflets, helping our brilliant candidates. We've got one crack at this, because next year we've got the Welsh and Scottish elections, and then we've got 2029, the general election, where we're going to put Nigel in number 10. But it starts on May the 1st. Thank you, Conference. Thank you.